I think it's very much about growing people, and in the process you grow yourself, because it's a much more difficult way to lead, much more challenging, in the immediacy of I get to tell you what to do, and if you don't do it right I tell you that, and I can control you because I can fire you, feels like something's happening. What's happening is I'm robbing you of your ownership, and when I leave, your ownership leaves. You're dependent on me to keep you going, to remind you, to check up on you, and that's not very effective, and in fact it turns you into hired hands, and I lose your heart and your mind because you're not being invited to think, to challenge, to think rigorously, to be a mental partner in challenging the ideas, or to drive home thinking, wow, how could we make it better, and get really excited because you're bringing something back that you know will be respected. So servant leadership, well, I'll tell you a little story. When I taught in elementary school, I had a principal, Wade Thompson, who was a servant leader, and he'd come by. I was the art teacher, and he'd step in and walk around and see what the children were doing and talk to them. And then he might say, boys and girls, I'm inviting your teacher to come for a cup of coffee, and we're going to be gone 20 minutes. Is there anyone that doesn't know or needs help before she leaves? And can we count on you to continue doing your work? And you know, if it's close to the end of the day, do you know how to clean up? And so he was really asking, are you prepared for this responsibility? And as a result, in that school there were no locks, a school of over 1,000 children. And children learned how to take responsibility for themselves and each other, and they were very mature and very responsible. And teachers were not police or mamas in the sense of reminding kids. I mean, kids, well, another interesting story, one Thanksgiving I took my parents over to show them the school where I taught. Thanksgiving morning there was a little 5th grader out cleaning garbage off the school ground, picking up the paper. And I said, well, good morning, Mark, you're up early. What are you doing? And he said, cleaning up, because he had a garbage bag. And I said, who told you to do that? Isn't that interesting? He looked at me and he said, no one. And I said, so, but why, what are you doing? He said, well, all this paper blew all over the ground. I wanted to clean it up. And I said, why are you doing that? And he said, because it's my school. You know, it was like, why would I not do it? Well, again, I think you'd agree that's extraordinary for a 10-year-old to choose that as what he was going to do on a holiday. And that's the power of servant leadership. It's when individuals of any age begin to see their broader calling in life and begin to find meaning in that, and you can't push them away from it. But you do have to share the spotlight, and you do have to mature yourself, because giving up control and giving up the I did that, you know, I'm not there yet. I do have my moments when I realize what I really want is someone else to know that was my idea, and my ego has crowded back in, and it's going to interfere with the collective thou.